Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Club Junkie podcast. I am back at home, down in the basement, down in the dungeon. I am back from traveling for a little bit, and it feels good to be home. So, which is awesome. But I got to go visit some cool places. Got to be in some warm weather, so I can't really complain that much. But thankful to be home, the family, and like I said, sleep in my own bed, get some good sleep, and it's been a good couple days. So, I apologize too. I probably sound still a little stuffed up, whatever. It's like the travel plague. It just like follows me everywhere. And it's funny because I'm not normally a guy who gets sick very often. But for whatever reason, when I travel, I don't know if it's the people around me, whatever, I always seem to bring something home. But before we get into today's episode, I just want to let you know this episode brought to you by Titleist and the brand new T-Series irons. The T100, the 150, the T200, and the T350, all of them brand new, built from the ground up to be the best Titleist irons ever. So go to Titleist.com, set up a T-Series irons fitting with your local Titleist fitter today. That's what I did. Went out to my local fitter and actually had a blast hitting all the different irons. I saw basically got fit into T200 4 and 5 iron, T150 6 through pitching wedge. It's a great combo set that the T200 offers me higher flight, a little more distance, a little more forgiveness in those long irons where I need it, and the T150 gives me that great feel and sound. A little added extra distance, a little bit of forgiveness, while still giving me that player's look, that compact look, minimal offset, thin top line. Just been a great set of irons, and I played really well with them through the end of this year, most of the summer. And but yeah, go ahead and go to Titleist.com, set up your free fitting, check out all the T-Series irons, find out which one's right for you, and go hit them. You'll have a blast. So the fitting was awesome, and you get to hit a bunch of combinations of irons and shafts. So why wouldn't you go do it? But excuse me, we are middle of December. I know this is a day late. I apologize. I didn't get home until Wednesday late night, like 11:30, something like that. So, and then Thursday was just like wake up, trying to catch up with everything. So, doing the podcast today, which is a day late, but hopefully that's all right with everybody. Hopefully it doesn't throw you off too much. But yeah, I was traveling, excuse me, quite a bit. Previous week, I was down in, checking out hanging out with the TaylorMade folks, and that was an absolute blast. Got to see a bunch of new stuff, got to hit a bunch of stuff, and can't wait to be able to talk about that, but unfortunately that won't be until next year. And then this week, I was out at the beautiful Scottsdale National, checking out all the PXG stuff. So, again, can't talk about it until next year. So, but it was both were great times. Got to hang out with a lot of great people from both companies, as well as a bunch of media people that I haven't seen in a while. Excuse me, and that was always a whole lot of fun as well. I know a lot of people think that media people are all just going against each other, trying to get each other's views and steal each other's audience. But that's not how it goes. We definitely all get along. We all hang out at a lot of the same things. So if we hated each other, it'd be a little awkward at a lot of these events. I'm sorry, it's going to happen kind of the whole show. But we all hang out together, and honestly, I get along with everybody really well. So as much as people think the Golf WRX, the My Golf Spy, hatred or whatever, I really enjoy hanging out with Chris Nickel and Tony and Bennett and all them. I see them at a lot of events. We always have a good time just hanging out, chatting, talking about equipment, talking about whatever, and life, and we have a good time playing if we're paired up in groups as well. So yeah, TaylorMade event was really fun, really cool. Got to see some pretty awesome stuff. Excited to when you guys get to see all the details and everything on all the new equipment. It's going to be pretty awesome. And then same thing with PXG. We had to see a little there, and then I got to stay and play at the beautiful Scottsdale National Golf Club, which is Bob Parsons' own club, and it is. I think I've said it before. I went there 2 years ago. Went there again this year, and it is just it's a pretty amazing place. It's a very cool. The course layout is nice. Scottsdale National. They have two courses. I've only played the other course, as they call it. There's the Mine Shaft course and the other course. I've only played the other course, and I've played the Bad Little 9, which is their 9-hole course. And the Bad Little 9 had a great time. Played with Ian Frazier and Mike from Club Champion Media, formerly TXG. Those guys are just, they're such good dudes. But played the bad little 9 with those guys on Monday afternoon. And it's funny because Ian is a great player. Mike's a good player as well. And it was funny. We were just you just get beat up. The course, it doesn't seem like it's that hard. I think the longest hole is like 145 yards. And just the undulation of the greens, the bunkers, all the stuff around it, the size of the greens. There's some greens that are, it feels like they're the size of the desk. It is crazy how small and hard that course is. And it's hitting a shot. You hit a good shot, it hits the green. There's a good chance it's not staying on the green unless you hit it in the exact perfect spot. It will roll off into some either little like low spot, a little like catch area, roll off into a bunker, whatever. Shots that are hit right at the pin will end up 30 feet away if they're even on the green, and then shots that you don't hit great are going to end up in some pretty rough places to try to get up and down from. So yeah, it was a good time. That place was fun. Like I said, got to play with those guys, and we had a blast. I think we tried to play a 3-man best ball and to see if we could come close to par. And again, those two guys, much better player than players than me, and we didn't make it. I want to say we were a few over by the end of the 9. I think the first hole we ended up. I think bogey was the best score, and then there were pars thrown in there, but there were a lot of bogeys, a lot of double bogeys that went there. I think was it Ian or Mike? One of them made a birdie on one of the holes, but that's a pretty rare sight. So. But it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. That bad little 9 is just so tough. It's fun. It's one of those. It would be a great thing to go play with with a bunch of buddies. Maybe have a few beverages in the cart and just go have a blast. But man, it's frustratingly tough. And speaking with the caddies at Scottsdale National, when you ask them, about what's the best scores and stuff like that, most of those guys will tell you that most players pick up on most holes. There's not, there's a foursome out there playing. There's almost a guarantee that almost every hole somebody's picking their ball up and just walking off. They're not finishing the hole. And I know I did that with at least a couple holes because it's just some of the slopes and sometimes where they put the pins are just really tough. Like they had one, I can't remember, I'm trying to remember what hole it was, like kind of in the middle of the round. And the pin was just like kind of in the middle front of the green, and Ian hit a shot that was right at it. If it was 2 feet left of the pin, that was it. It was right on top. Well, it hits and it rolls away. We kind of lose sight of it. The pin was on top of a little mound, and his ball was it hit right near there, and then it just rolled off the back and left, and he was basically debating whether to chip or pitch it up the hill, and it was on a little crest. So Mike and I were on the front side, where the other part of the hill was, and we were going towards the pin that way. He was on the other side coming up, and none of us got our first shots to stay on the green. So it was just like, holy smokes. But it was fun. It was pretty cool. On the 9th hole, which has a green that is, I'm dead honest, it is so small. I want to say maybe it's like 10 feet wide and maybe 15 or 20 feet deep. It's just there's not much to it, and it's just surrounded by bunkers. I hit my shot. It hit I don't know if it hit the green or the rough there, fell back into the bunker, and I hit my bunker shot to a foot, or right around that. And the caddy was just like, wow. He's like, that's really good. He's like, most people, when they're in the bunker, they a lot of times go bunker to bunker across the green because it's so small, or they just barely get it to stay on and it hangs on the fringe. He's like, that's a really good shot. And then we found out later, this guy Gabe, who does a lot of video work for Golf Week, made a hole-in-one on that hole. It's online. If you go look at, I think it's Golf Week's Instagram. He one or two hops it into the pin on that hole. So my little good bunker shot was definitely outdone by a hole-in-one. So congratulations to Gabe. That was pretty cool that he made a hole-in-one on that hole, because man, is that tough. So really a whole lot of fun though there. And then again, Scottsdale National got to play the other course, and then on Wednesday morning they set up a little, they called it a par 3 course, but we went out to the full course, the other course, and they actually set up some pins or some tee boxes out there that basically went from 200 to 300 yards on every single hole. So you could hit a lot of shots out there to get there, and they had a couple pros out, so they had a little competition about basically not the lowest score, but basically they did like a little knockout thing where you played the first 4 holes, because I think we had 7 teams. They played the first like 4 holes. They eliminated some people, and then every hole eliminated people until we got to the final 2. So, and then they had a little trophy on that of who to win it. So I'll talk about that a little later, just because a later show, just because we'll get closer to the equipment being used and all that. We can't talk about yet. We got to wait till the beginning of the year, and then we'll talk about that a little more, because it was a pretty fun thing. It was pretty cool, and some people there that we had a good time playing with. Like Mikey from TXG and Mr. Short Game and a bunch of people like that. So I had a whole lot of fun doing that. But we'll talk about that beginning of next year. It's only a couple weeks away, because then I can actually talk about the clubs and all that stuff. So, excuse me, we'll just let you know that it's definitely something that was a lot of fun, and I had a blast. So, anyway, I'm back home, and today we're going to talk about another golf bag. I know we've done a good amount of golf bag stuff lately, and it seems like it's funny that a lot of people like a lot of the golf bag talk, and I'm a big fan of golf bags. I'm kind of looking for what is going to be my bag for 2024. I know club-wise, way up in the air. Everything's kind of up in the air, and everything's going to be kind of seeing what happens. In terms of clubs, nothing is safe. Never is. There's a lot of stuff out there vying for some spots, and I will say I've hit. The one thing that is always interesting, and I know a lot of you guys who follow kind of find the same thing as me, of three fairway woods are always kind of that tough one of, do you keep it, when you find something comfortable, keep it, whatever, or do you put in something new? And I do have to say, after hitting a good amount of fairway woods from some of this new stuff, I don't know if the 3 and 7 wood are going to be safe. There's been some good product out there. I'm pretty sure the 3 wood will probably be replaced, and I haven't hit everything yet, but I've hit some really, really good 3 woods out there, and then also 7 woods as well. I've hit some good ones of those, so it'll be interesting to see if either one of those stay. Driver, we know that'll probably change, because there's a lot of new drivers coming out, but and then even with irons, there's some irons out there, so we'll see what happens with those. New wedges, new putters, whatever. I mean, there's tons of stuff out there, so everything's at risk in a sense, and we'll see what makes it. But I have a feeling there'll be some big changes to the bag for 2024, and then I think next week I'll do my end of the year what's in the bag. Not a whole lot different. There was a couple maybe little minor changes here at the end of the year, but for the most part, it was pretty much status quo. So that's why I'm not that excited or crazy to bring you that show, because most of you follow along. It's not anything that's too crazy. But anyway, got a new bag, and it is made by a company you kind of probably wouldn't suspect, which is SuperStroke. So yes, the same company that makes all those putter grips and swing grips out there that you probably have on your clubs, they are now making golf bags as well. And basically, they're making three different bags: a true carry bag called the Pantheon Stand, a cart bag called the Pantheon Cart Bag, and then what I have here, which if you're watching this on YouTube again, you can search, you can probably search Club Junkie if you're looking on YouTube, but basically they have but you can see the bag kind of on video as I try to hover it against my desk. But then they have the Pantheon Hybrid bag, which is, it has legs as a stand bag, but it also is a little bigger, has more storage, kind of like the cart bag. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. And the one I have is in the white material. So kind of the white, it's kind of like a PU material, kind of like a nylon. It's really nice. It's kind of really kind of a thick, heavier material. It's definitely kind of got that nylon feel. And again, with this feel of it, I think it should be pretty easy to clean. Now, I just got it a little bit ago. I've been using it on the range and storing clubs in it to take to the range, and putting stuff in there. I did not travel with it only because it's a little bit heavier. I typically use my much smaller stand bag for that. But I've been messing around with it a lot here at the house and taking it out to hit clubs in the backyard and things like that when I've had time. But I've had this for a few weeks now. I've been kind of waiting to do it, and I just wanted to kind of use it a little more as I was doing that. So this thing here, the Pantheon Hybrid bag from SuperStroke, it's got some cool little features on there. They've got a kind of a unique little logo on there that's a little different. and a ton of storage. It is a much bigger bag than, as I'm trying to keep it in the frame, it's a much bigger bag than some of the other ones. I know I messed with like the Pins and Aces bag recently. This one here, kind of similar to that, as being a larger bag. You can carry it. I feel like this is a bag that you would carry if you kind of needed to. You got to the course, cart path only, decided, hey, it's a walkable course, let's just go. It is definitely a little bit bigger and heavier than a true stand bag, and this one here weighs just over 7 pounds for the hybrid bag, where the true stand bag they basically rate it as 5.8, so a little bit bigger there. It's got a 12 by 8 inch top, so 12 inches long, 8 inches across, and the whole top circumference is 30 inches, and the whole total bag is kind of 12 by 16, so a pretty big bag, but I kind of like that. This is like what I consider like the perfect range bag, and by that I mean it's got a big top, it's a 6-way divider, fully padded, and the dividers go all the way down. Now they're not sealed at the bottom, they're not like attached at the bottom, but they do go all the way down to the bottom. So 6-way top on it, with kind of a plastic carry handle on top, and then tons of storage zippers in this bad boy. And for the range, you can stuff a ton of clubs in there, a ton of clubs, ton of extra shafts, whatever you want to bring. And then it's got big pockets where you can like shove your launch monitor in. It's got 2 huge side pockets. You can shove a launch monitor in there, no problem. Maybe some extra clothes, put your shoes in there, whatever. And then a bunch of storage for your valuables, tees, balls, rangefinder, all that stuff. So I think it's, a great range bag, something that on a cart is phenomenal. Carrying it, I don't think this would be, if you're a guy who walks every single week, and you carry every single week, this might be a little bit big. You might, want to look more at the stand bag than the hybrid. But the hybrid is built very, very well. Like I said, already the material on it looks really nice, extremely sturdy. Kind of when you set it down and give it that like twist to see kind of how much like torque will move it. It's pretty darn sturdy. It doesn't move a ton. There's not a lot of twist to it. You can definitely tell it's built very well. Again, with the top 6-way, all padded. It's got a nice kind of like almost like leather looking wrap that goes from the padding inside to the external part of the bag, and it's kind of nice. It's just a little feature there that you kind of at first don't notice, and then you kind of think, oh, is that plastic? And then you touch it and it's got a little softness to it, and it's kind of like a synthetic leather that kind of goes around the outside, right around kind of that plastic grab handle. And the grab handle's pretty good. It's got just a touch of flex to it, but it seems to be pretty sturdy, easy to even with a full bag of clubs. You can grab it by this top handle, not feel like it's going to break or anything like that. It's got some good stiffness to it. It's a good size, but size of the bag is great. Easy. The way I usually go in the bottom half, 9 pitch all the wedges, and then divide up the irons, hybrid or irons. Maybe hybrid 7 wood in the middle section, and then the very top, I go basically just putter in the very top, and then the other top 2 are woods, 7 wood hybrid or 3 wood driver, all that. So pretty easy to put a bunch of stuff in here. Really like the top, really like the handle. The main grab handle on the back is kind of the matching white kind of PU material, and it's kind of slightly padded there, so it's nice, easy to hold, easy to grab. Even when the thing's fully weighted down, it's comfortable in your hand. You can carry it across the parking lot with no problem. And then it's got a single strap on the back that's got 2 connection points at the very top, and then a single kind of connection point right above the ball pockets and tee pockets and stuff on the bottom. So it is a single strap. So if you're carrying a ton, I've actually carried lighter bags that are single strap over 9, 18 holes, and they're not bad. But this one here, it's definitely robust. It's heavily padded. It's definitely a little stiffer. It kind of breaks in, as you can see. Like I've been carrying a little bit. It's got a little crease kind of built into it, or starting to go right now, which is nice. But when I first got it, definitely a little stiff. Kind of needs to mold to your shoulder a little bit. But as I've kind of used it a little bit here, you can tell it's kind of got its little arc going, and I think that'll get even more comfortable as you use it. Nice SuperStroke embroidered logo in white, which isn't the easiest to see on camera, but it is there. And all the hardware seems to be really nice. It's all metal, kind of a black chrome looking metal on there. And you will, if you're going to carry it a decent amount, want to adjust the straps a little bit out of the bag. It kind of sits really low and the back sits down. So you definitely want to adjust the straps a little bit if you're going to carry it a decent amount on the course, just to get it sitting right and get the balance right once you get some balls, clubs, all that in there. But pretty easy to do. It's a pretty standard little buckle, and all 3 straps now connect to the bag. Connect on there really easily. And again, if you want to take the strap off because you're going to use it as a cart bag and you just know you don't need the strap, or like for me with my Moto Caddy, I don't want the strap on there. I don't need it. Easy spring-loaded clips that just come right off, and you can unsnap them in just a few seconds. Take the strap off, throw it in your car, leave it, it's out of the way, and then use this as a true cart bag or push cart bag with nothing kind of hanging down or getting in the way, which is kind of nice. I kind of like that most places are doing that now, where you can kind of take the strap off, leave it on. It gives you a lot of options. Now, the other interesting thing on here is with the legs. As you can see right near the top, there's like a flap that covers the very top hinges of the legs, and it's just a flap material that's held just kind of down. It just folds itself down. It's kind of perforated there with some stitching, and then there's actually a set of flaps that cover the legs when you're not using them. So if you're going to be putting this on a cart or a push cart or anything like that, this little strap comes out, or these little flaps come out, and it's a zipper, and you just zipper down. You zipper the flap shut, and they will cover the legs. They don't come out and do anything. They're protected. They don't get beat up against the cart or anything like that. And it gives it a good kind of clean look. And depending on your push cart, it may fit a little better with these kind of hidden. And that's really cool. I like that it does that for using it on a push cart or an electric cart, riding cart. It's kind of nice. Now, the only thing I'll give this thing, everything kind of out there, I feel like every bag has a knock. The knock is when you're not using it, and you're going to use it as a stand bag, like you're going to go to the range and set it down, or you're going to go to the short game area at your course and, hit a few balls and do whatever. There's no real great way I've found yet to kind of keep it out of the way. The best I've found is to kind of tuck it behind the legs, and then I zipper it halfway down to kind of where there's a section of the legs that push out. I zipper it down to there, and then the flap just kind of stays over. I guess that's fine, but it's just kind of I feel like it just needs a little way to stay out of the way. Whether you could zipper it all the way down, or maybe there would be like a little piece of Velcro or something that you could keep it out of the way. That'd be a little helpful, but it's a little interesting that it doesn't really go anywhere when you're not using, when the legs aren't covered. When you're actually going to use the legs, there's really no way to get out of it, to keep it really truly out of the way. You're always kind of worried if it's going to fall out and tangle up with the legs or something like that. It hasn't done that, but it's just an interesting little thing that I haven't figured out 100%. How I'm comfortable with it outside when I'm using it as a stand bag. So. The other just slight knock, the umbrella portion is, again, just a little drawstring that you tighten at the top, and then it basically just goes into the little canvas ring down at the bottom, but there's nothing in the middle to slide the umbrella in, and that always kind of helps keep it out of the way. And I know if you're playing in Arizona or San Diego or something like that, you don't have to worry about rain hardly ever. We get a little bit of rain here in Michigan, so it'd be nice to have a slightly more robust umbrella holder. So that would be my two things that I'm kind of on the fence about. I wish they kind of had a little better system for, would be both those. Other than that, let's get to the good stuff. So when you get into the back of the bag, ton of pockets. When you look at kind of the main, at the top one that's magnetic, it's not felt line, it's just kind of the regular nylon material in there. For some people who maybe keep their rangefinder mostly in there, yes, it's not velour lined or anything like that. I still don't think it's going to scratch up or damage a rangefinder, but it's not lined. I always use this for tees, ball markers, divot repair tools. and maybe some other stuff like tape for your fingers or something like that. So for me, no problem. I don't care, if it's velour lined or not. Doesn't matter to me. But it closes pretty tight. The magnetic on it is pretty strong, so you don't have to worry about even tossing it in your trunk or anything like that. It's going to spill open, or you're going to lose any of your stuff in there. And then the big pocket is something I usually use for golf balls, but good size, will carry a ton of stuff. I've got a bunch of golf balls in there already, but it's also lined for a cooler, so it's got a little silver lining in there, so you could put, if you were going to put a couple beverages and like an ice pack or whatever in there, it is lined for that. But again, I use it as golf balls, so there's a few in here already, so I got a couple in there, but it does hold quite a bit. You can put, other stuff in there as well if it's not just golf balls, or if you're like me and you carry a ton of golf balls, that is totally fine. On the outside, which is kind of cool, it does have a water bottle holder, a little sleeve here, and it's got a little it's slightly insulated a little liner in there. It's not massive, so if you're using a really, really big water bottle, it may not fit in here. It's going to have to be something that's a little more traditional size, a little slimmer, but it does fit very snug, and it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. It does have a drain hole at the bottom as well for condensation and all that. Now, one interesting kind of pocket that you don't see a lot is on the sides of the ball and top pocket, the rangefinder, magnetic pocket. On both sides, there's kind of these slimmer little pockets here that they're not huge. They're just kind of slim. But I think one is great for gloves. You can slide gloves in here, keeps them kind of flat. Once they're dry, wouldn't put them in there wet. But if you put them in there dry, they kind of have a nice, they keep them flat. It's a nice kind of a slim, kind of deep pocket. And they're on both sides. So for me, one would be gloves, and the other would probably be like wrenches. Put a wrench or something like that in there. Keeps the sharp tip away from anything else you may be carrying in there. And just a nice little pocket that you can put a few things. Maybe you could throw some sunscreen or something like that. Nothing too big, too bulky, but something that's small. Maybe, if you have those UV or sleeves or warm sleeves for colder mornings, stuff like that. Easily fold up, toss it in there, or maybe put rain gloves on one side and regular gloves on the other. But a good glove pocket, it's kind of built about that size when you put your hand up next to it, and it should keep stuff pretty flat in there if you're setting them in there. So really nice setup on the back. I think there's a lot of options, a lot of things you can do with it. And then you move up to the top, and there's your valuables pouch on one side that's lined with a nice, soft kind of velour, and then another similar size pocket over here, and it's just a standard nylon, but it's a very similar size. Both those have kind of the waterproof zipper style, where it's got the rubber coating over the zipper. So both those, your valuable and your non-valuable, in a sense, pockets there where you can put. Again, you can maybe put your ball markers and stuff in there, and then leave more room for tees or whatnot. Again, this thing has a ton of room, so you're going to have a lot of pocket space to put stuff. And then on the left side of the bag, you've got your large main pocket here that you can open up and put a rain suit or maybe the rain cover that goes on this. The rain cover is big. It's made of the same TP, or the same PU material, and it is pretty thick and big. It doesn't fold up super tiny like a cheap little, nylon one that most bags come with. It's white. It matches this color. It's the same material, and it is a little more rigid, a little more stiff, a little thicker, and it does take up some space. So if you're going to keep it in the bag, you're probably going to keep it in one of these pockets, and it's going to use a lot of that pocket space on there. But it's a big pocket. You still got a lot of room, a lot of stuff to put in here. It does have access from the other side, which you would think. There's access from the other side, but it's really not. It's almost like an expansion or something like that on the side of this inner zipper. Not sure what that's for yet, but maybe it expands the pocket just a little bit more. And then on the other side, on the right side of the bag, if you're looking at it from the back, they've got another kind of large pocket on the side here that, again, rain jacket, anything like that. Another cool little feature is that inside here, there's actually a little zipper. And if you go in the pocket and undo the zipper, you can actually access the bottom of the bag. So if you drop something like, you drop some tees or your ball marker or whatever in the very top where the clubs go, and it falls to the bottom, instead of having to take all the clubs out and dump it upside down and dump out whatever you dropped, there's a little access port inside here that you just unzip, and you can put your hand down at the bottom of the bag and, feel around, get whatever you need, and grab it without having to empty the bag and dump it all out in the parking lot, which is actually kind of cool. Because just recently with another bag, I did drop something down there. I think it wasn't a wrench, it was something else. It might have been a divot repair tool, whatever. I was cleaning out a bag and fell down there and had to pull everything out, dump it upside down, get it out. It was fine. But this, you can just unzip that little pocket inside and access the bottom of the bag and grab whatever you need, which is kind of nice. But again, good sized pocket, easily put rain jacket, pants, both of those in one pocket, fold them up, or, sweaters, whatever. A lot of room in there as well. And the two outside pockets, again, are that kind of waterproof, rubber lined waterproof zipper as well, which is pretty cool. And then there's one kind of, I won't call it hidden, but there is a little pocket on the top of that big pouch that is just for putting stuff. It's not velour lined. It's not like a valuables pocket. It's just kind of a little hidden guy on top. And, nothing huge. You could easily put, wallet, keys, stuff like that in there and kind of keep it out of the way. And it's not as noticeable as a pocket, so I'm going to call it slightly hidden. That way people, if someone was to go kind of root through your bag, maybe they don't check that pocket first. So a really nice little added piece there. And then a good sized towel ring. Easily put your towel through there to hold on to it. It is made of plastic. It's not metal or anything like that, but it's pretty durable. I feel like it'll hold up for a lot of use. But overall, a really nice bag. I really like it. It's kind of one of those where this has a good chance of kind of being my gamer bag. I really, the one thing I got to see how it works is on the Moto Caddy. It fits well down here in like the basement. I've set it on there. It fits really well. It's just a matter of, is it going to move around at all when it starts, bumping itself down the fairway. And I just haven't played with that Moto Caddy recently, so I don't know that, but I like everything about it. It's built extremely well. I mean, I know it is white, so it probably will get a little dirtier than I'd like, but it does look pretty cool. White and black bags always look really, really awesome. So the fit and finish of it seems to be really nice. Like I said, materials all seem to be really high quality, really well built. And it is. It's not a crazy light bag, but it's got a lot of space. The little zipper pulls are, little rubber, black rubber SuperStroke logos on there, so they look pretty cool. They're just kind of a nice little touch. And they have little like kind of U-shaped rings to them as they attach to the zipper. But everything, looks really good. And like I said, the fit and finish seems pretty nice. It seems to be extremely durable. Leg action's good. Folds out quick. They snap back when you're actually picking up. So, good leg action there. Nothing feels like it hangs down or doesn't retract all the way. So if you are walking. And, again, ton of room on the top to fit extra clubs and all that if you're going to go out to the range and test some stuff or mess around with some stuff. But the Pantheon bag, yes, is really solid. If you're looking for something that's kind of a bag where it doesn't have to be crazy light because you're for the most time going to keep it on a cart, keep it on a push cart or something like that, do an occasional walk. I think that the hybrid bag's a great option. It isn't super, super light at 7 pounds, and once you get it really loaded up with a bunch of stuff, it is a little heavy, but again, if you're going to do the full walk, you'll probably go to the stand bag anyway. But, I mean, honestly, I don't know. For me, I think this is a great option because cart bags, as much as I like them, I do like having the legs, like when I go to a range or something like that, or go to the, a short game area or something like that, where I'm going to bring a couple wedges and a couple putters and stuff like that, and I can stand it on its own, where cart bags, if there's not a flat section, you're laying it down and all that. This will stand on its own, and I really do like it. So I like the size. I'm a pack rack guy. I'm one of those. I'm always going to have the raincoat at least, if not some rain pants. I'm always going to have probably an umbrella with me. I'm always going to have more balls than I need and extra gloves. I'm always going to carry that stuff. So. And then having the ability to, like, indoors go to the range and, take my full swing kit or my Bushnell Launch Pro and actually toss it in the pocket, not have to carry it separate. It's just one less thing in your hands. You can walk in with just your bag, and that's a great kind of little feature as well. So a really solid bag. I think the Pantheon's really, really good. I really like what SuperStroke did with it, and I think they make a pretty solid bag. Now, this isn't cheap. you're talking, $3.99 for the hybrid bag. But it doesn't seem to have any cheap material anywhere on it as well. Like I said, even the rain cover is the matching kind of synthetic material on top. It's not just like a cheap little canvasy nylon, top that goes on it. So everything about it is built kind of first class. And it's $3.99 on SuperStroke's site right now. They do have a matching putter grip with it though, so you get a free putter grip if you're to buy one. But if you go to SuperStrokeUSA.com. Check out the Pantheon stand, hybrid, and cart bag. All built really well. I really enjoyed messing with this, and I think this could be probably... it might start out for next year as my gamer bag. So we'll see about maybe if I can get the back pouch or something like that, maybe embroidered, put a little Club Junkie logo on it, and that's the only thing it's missing right now. It leaves a little Club Junkie logo, but other than that, it's a really solid bag, and I think built really well, and excited to kind of get a few more things kind of situated in it for everyday play. But overall, Pantheon series, really, really nice bag. So check them out. Again, SuperStrokeUSA.com. I think that's going to be it for today's show. I know I haven't hit anything really new, and the new stuff I have hit I can't talk about until next year. But don't worry, it's going to be early next year. Most of the stuff, first couple weeks, we'll be able to talk about it. So we're going to have a lot of stuff to mess around with and talk about, and I'm excited for that. So, hey, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Get your Christmas or holiday shopping done soon. It's almost here, which is crazy, but it's getting close. So hopefully you guys have a great week. Have a great weekend. We'll talk next week. I'm going to be home all week, so I'm going to go hit some balls and get some stuff done. But, it's going to be a good one, and holidays will be here. And then 2024, new club season. Can't wait. It's going to be exciting. So hopefully you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Again, if you can, follow me at Club Junkie Pod on Instagram. I would appreciate it. Trying to get to 12,000 followers before the end of the year. I need like 400 more, so hopefully we'll get there. And then if you're watching this on YouTube or want to, search Golf WRX Radio. You probably could search Club Junkie. It should come up. And then also wherever you're listening on the podcast, really appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, all that. It'll be awesome. You guys have a good weekend. We'll talk next week.